What up, everybody? Over the last couple days, I've been talking about a theory based on the new Power Book 4 Season 3 teaser in regards to Tommy going to war with Detective Bobby DeFranco of the Chicago PD. A quick breakdown of what I think is going to take place is that Bobby DeFranco is going to find his wife, Stacey Marks, murdered, as the teaser shows Bobby DeFranco walking up to a crime scene, looking at the body with an expression on his face like he's upset. So I think that Bobby DeFranco is discovering Stacey at this point in time, which will send the Bobby DeFranco character into a rage, thinking that Tommy was behind it, and blaming himself for not allowing Stacey to bring Tommy Egan in when she had the chance. And Bobby DeFranco will vow to avenge Stacey Marks' death, and thinking that by the book methods haven't worked in taking out Tommy Egan before, Bobby DeFranco will take it to the street with Tommy, and when he tries to clip him, he'll end up hitting Mireya instead, as she saves Tommy like Angela did Ghost. Then Tommy and Miguel will team up to take out Bobby DeFranco, and that's why the trailer has a clip of Tommy shooting up a church, and what looks to be Miguel Garcia with him as well as D-Mac and Marshall and some other people. But Bobby DeFranco will make it out the church alive, and in the process, I think Miguel will get killed. Because the next clip from the trailer has D-Mac, Marshall, and Tommy rising up and spraying Bobby DeFranco's car with bullets. And the next clip shows Bobby DeFranco's car being lit on fire. So there's definitely going to be a lot of chaos in Season 3 of Force. But the big question is, how does it all get started? I'm talking about how does Stacey Marks end up getting killed in the first place? And I think the character who's going to end up taking out Stacey Marks and will most likely try to pin it on Tommy in some type of way is Victor Flynn. Because Vic Flynn is who's been playing both sides with Tommy and Stacey Marks to begin with. Also keep it in mind that it was Vic Flynn who killed Agent Vargas but tried pinning it on Tommy. And at the end of Season 2, Vic had realized that he had been played by Tommy, and that Tommy had realized that he was a rat, as Tommy had Vic waiting at a warehouse with Bones and Raheem. So in Season 3, Vic's going to continue to get caught between the two sides. And to add a new dynamic in the mix, the Season 3 teaser also revealed that Vic Flynn is going to have a new love interest in Season 3 as well. So that could definitely shake things up a lot. Because in Season 2, part of the reason why he was snitching and wanted to get out of town was because he was still depressed over the death of Gloria. So this new love interest might really shake things up a lot concerning Vic Flynn, because he might not be so eager to leave Chicago if he has a new love interest who potentially doesn't want to leave Chicago to go run into Witsec with him. Then there's also the dynamic of Tommy now knowing that Vic is a snitch, and we haven't seen Vic and Tommy together since Vic has figured out that Tommy knows he's a snitch. I mean, if Vic would have had his way, that would have been Tommy, Diamond, and Che going to prison that day, and not his sister Mirkovich and the Marquez cartel. So what Vic Flynn was trying to do was no small thing. That would have potentially put Tommy and Diamond in prison for life. And with that said, I've had some people asking me if I think Mirkovich will be in Season 3. And I don't think he will. I don't think he's going to get bond after he got arrested at the end of Season 2. Keep it in mind they ended up killing a cop in the shootout that took place. And they busted him with drugs and being with a cartel. So the only way he's getting out or gonna return is if he was to start snitching. And since he's not in business with CBI or the Estrada cartel, he can't really give them anything on Tommy. Not to mention, I think the Mirkovich in the Serb storyline has ran its course, because in comparison to a character like Milan, the Mirkovich character was underwhelming in my opinion, seeing he was supposed to be the main boss of both Milan and Jason, dating back to the OG Power days. So Tommy's really playing with fire when it comes to Vic Flynn, because what he did was pretty much the equivalent of shooting at Tommy and Diamond and missing. Some would say what Vic did was even worse. That trying to put them in prison for the rest of their lives is actually worse than trying to take their lives. And this is why Diamond couldn't really figure out what Tommy was doing, because they had agreed to have Bones and Raheem kill Vic and bury his body. But Tommy changed the play and is convinced that they now have Vic Flynn in their pocket, and it will benefit them having a government informant that they can get info from to stay a step ahead of the law. In theory this works, but at the end of the day it's ultimately gonna come down to who Vic fears more, the law or the streets. And this is why the other teaser video had Diamond dunking Vic in water. This is most likely making Vic pay as much as they can for trying to set them up, and warning him not to make another move against them moving forward. Dunking Vic in water is also a good way to torture him without leaving any kind of marks that Stacey Marks might ask about. Because ultimately, even though Vic told Stacey that they made him, obviously Tommy's gonna have Vic act like they don't know anything. Getting me to Vic Flynn killing Stacey Marks. Like I said, if Vic's new girl convinces Vic to stay in Chicago, he's gonna need a way out of everything he got himself in. Not to mention, he's gonna realize that even though Tommy plans on using him, that he can't play both sides forever. Sooner rather than later, Stacey Marks is gonna start pressing him again like she was in season 2. Even if she gives him some breathing room for a minute to make sure Tommy didn't make him. Keep it in mind that even though Vic did voluntarily choose to snitch, even though he originally tried to snitch on his sister, but at the end of the day, Stacey has him on a murder charge for that Colin guy he killed in season 1. So the first thing that Vic would have to do if he wanted to be free of Stacey Marks and get back to a normal life would be taking out the witnesses from when he killed Colin. And that's the girl who snitched on him, Alicia, and a guy named Fat Tony. But also keep in mind that they really didn't actually see him kill Colin either. The girl lied and said she did because she's a junkie and was trying to get out of custody as fast as she could. So I think Vic's first kill is going to be taking out these two people, Alicia and Fat Tony. And I definitely think that Vic's new love interest will be the one to convince him to make this move, or at least put the battery in his back by getting in his ear. Then Vic will have to make his last move to get free, and that's taking out Stacey Marks while finding a way to pin it on Tommy Egan and starting chaos in the process, a war between Tommy and Bobby DeFranco, ultimately going to war with each other over a lie. And there you have it. Leave your thoughts, theories, and predictions in the comments.